Hello everyone, and welcome back. You know what time it is. It is Tuesday, and that means it is Tier 3 action. And joining me for all of the action around, finally, the iconic Temple of Speed, Monza, Alex Bitto. How you doing?
Hello, Shriv. I'm very excited to see these Tier 3 drivers here on Monza, on Italy, today on Tuesday, as you said. And always they bring us a lot of unexpected races, let's say.
Unexpected, tight, dynamic, intense races, and it's been a very fun season to watch for this Tier 3 division so far. Last week, of course, we went through Spa with a very interesting campaign, and here we are now, Italy. 11 turns, 5.793 kilometers, one of the fastest circuits with an average speed of over 250 kilometers an hour. It is a very quick circuit, and surprisingly, not as easy as it might look. There's quite a few chicanes here around Italy. Of course, this is the 15th round now of MRL as we look at the calendar here for Italy. Next week, we go to Singapore, a very trying circuit. Following that, Russia, then Suzuka, then over to the United States, then Mexico. Following that for the 21st round in Brazil. And then we have Abu Dhabi to round out the 22 rounds of racing here for season 4. Of course, massive shout out to our great partners, Next Level Racing. You can check them out via the link down the panels below for some awesome sim racing gear on their website. They have motion sims, sim rigs, light rigs, wheel stands, everything you need to take your racing to the next level. Just a big shout out to everyone in the chat right now, of course, viewing along. We greatly appreciate you being here. And one thing I would like to bring to your attention is that our commands at the moment are giving us a little bit of an issue. So you may see that the Discord commands or any of those exclamation commands that would normally work for you may not today. So that is just a technical issue we're dealing with, and we thank you for your patience on that. Now, on to the standings, of course. We have Rutanius, who has been having a superlative season thus far, the Dutch driver in the Racing Point, of course, leading this championship. Maka there in the Haas has been having a stellar season also. Second place for him in the Haas, with Yasko and Bakro, the two Red Bull drivers, 3 and 4. Daniel Monoff rounding out your top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. Everybody's still in it for the potential, title, and we'll take a look at the constructors as the title fight's going on there quite tight. We have Red Bull, Racing Point, and Haas, your top 3. And with that being said, Alex, we're just about ready to go racing here in, of course, Italy. But any solid predictions ahead of this race? Any drivers that you have your eye on?
Of course, Daniel Monov always there on the top, normally on qualifying. Then sometimes the pressure is not the best friend of the young grid on the races, as I said. But I think today can be another day, as I think it was on France. He took that win, his first win here on Tier 3 on MRL, and I think he can do it again probably today if he can really avoid traffic and probably all the battles behind him.
I do believe we're just waiting on one driver right now. Dirk Chocolate seems to be having some kind of issue, and we'll love to see him get in here. I have a few moments remaining, but I definitely agree with you on the subject of Daniel Monoff. He's been having a very up and down season, and we'll have to see how he goes here for Alfa Romeo. I didn't get any bold Alfa Romeo predictions yet this week from our good man Scars, but if I had to guess, he's going to be looking for those Alfa Romeos somewhere in the top 5. Now, of course, I would love to give a massive shout out to Baza1411 for the resub. Thank you so much for the Tier 1 subscription for 5 months, and of course, freeware with the resub at Tier 1, 11 months. Thank you so much for the support. Now, in the chat, of course, you can take a fantastic look at the prediction. Will Bakro be getting a back-to-back pole position here, of course, around the Temple of Speed?
I've heard Daniel Monov, as I said before, is very strong here on qualifying, of course. I think all of these drivers are really this week practicing on dry conditions. I haven't seen a lot of wet weather conditions to practice with. So at the moment, I would say Daniel Monov on pole, but Bragro, of course, I think he has won 2 races on Tier 3, if I'm not mistaken, and probably can be there on the top. Of course, this grid very tight, as you said before, and I think we're going to have a very interesting qualifying, or of course, the race.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more here, Alex. Of course, I want to see what we get for that roll of the dice on weather. I've seen quite a few races around Monza, one of them being the Tier 2 Season 2 campaign around the circuit. And I have to say, that race, torrential rain, I mean, you were made iconic in the video from Season 2 with the Suzuka crash, but I can always remember Remco going around the outside of the Curva Grande here. Of course, such iconic sections of circuit here around Italy. And well, we'll have to see how all of these drivers fare, of course, on the run into turn 1 and through the first couple chicanes as they make their way into the Lesmos, throughout the Lesmos into Ascari, and then down the long straight into Parabolica. It's going to be a very, very fun race. And this is the first of 5 races this week that we'll be having here around, well, actually, it's 6 races that we'll be having here around Monza when you include the Formula 2 that happens on Sundays over on YouTube. But, of course, we have 7 races. Oh, hello.
Hello. Oh,
7 races this week total. We have the Endurance Series back again this coming Saturday for a great race. A race that you're quite familiar with, Alex. It's your home Grand Prix this weekend in Formula 1.
yep, it seems like all wet. Wet on qualifying, wet on races. Drivers will have to really manage all the traction there. You can lose on the rain, of course. And, well, as I said, I haven't seen that much practice on wets. And, well, this is a surprise for us.
Well, already in the chat, I can see Maxim there. This sounds like Tier 2 Season 2. And he was present for that, as was Henners, and you can see him there as well. And everybody in the chat, thank you. Of course, if you can share the stream, let your friends know. It is raining here in Italy for round 15 of MRL action. It's Tier 3. And who will be the first driver to test these conditions? Of course, the full wet compound tires are fitted, and it will be Maka. Second position in this Drivers' Championship right now, Alex. He'll be the first out of this pit lane.
Yes, we have these drivers coming out of the pit lane. I think, well, we haven't. Yeah, on wet tires, full wet. We'll see, because I don't know if these drivers, or at least some of these drivers, have that setup for the rain, which could be difficult to spot here or to create on Monza. You really need the trail and speed, but at the same time you need the stability on the rear to not lose it out of the chicane. So we'll see how they play with, as Maka is just on Lesmo 1. We have 2 reserves today. Godwin and Undertaker for AlphaTauri are missing. So we have Polypunk, the Spaniard, there on P17 on my time tower, and I think on yours as well. And Vincent Nyqvist, I think from Sweden.
Always good to have the reserves here on standby in case anyone can't make it, and this league wouldn't be what it is without the amazing drivers that come through and get themselves into those reserve roles. Of course, anybody that's looking to jump into the Misfits and drive in any of these races, you're more than welcome to do so. All you got to do is jump into the Discord and hit !apply once you're able to type in any of the channels. Here we go now with Maka, Alex, for the first lap.
Yeah, it's just look the struggle on traction out of turn 11. It's so difficult to put the throttle down. As we start this lap, not opening DRS, of course, as we are on rain, as you can see. Only DRS is enabled on dry conditions. He brakes at 150 meters almost, and he even loses the apex of turn 1. Look at the traction; it's just very difficult. He's really wrestling that wheel to really manage to keep it on the tarmac. So at the moment on Curva Grande, I think it's flat out on wet as well, as you can see on the telemetry for the Haas driver. But still, I think you're always a little bit scared to put all the power there.
It's going to be very hard to get any power right now, and throughout this campaign it's going to be very interesting to see how these racers fare with the weather. Now, I think our Streamlabs might actually be back. It would be fantastic. But Maka now coming down into Ascari, and Ascari going to be so tricky, Alex, in these conditions.
It's gonna be just the patience. Of course, he has, I think, should have more fuel to not only do one run, but probably half of the session of qualifying with that stint, as he only has 2 sets of wets. So right now going down to Parabolica, This very, you really need to be patient right now because it's the first run. You really don't know where the grip is, and well, of course you don't want to be an up there on the first run. You have 30.6 will be the banker for today as we are on board. I think with Vincent will be crossing the line right now. We'll see what he can do. It's a 32.0.
AlphaTauri, Vincent in a reserve capacity filling in for Gadwin today. Of course, it was an AlphaTauri that won this race in the 2020 season. Who could forget Pierre Gasly, of course. Arrow now beginning a run in the Mercedes, just flying ahead of Vincent here. Beccario goes quickest. 30.636 from the Spanish driver.
Squid 1 second slower. It seems like provisional pole from Beccario at the moment is a 1-2 for Haas. And we'll see because they are crossing the line right now. Is back row on P6 right now as he gets demoted by Daniel Monaf and Routinius, jumping into P3 and P4. So it seems like a very good banker for both Haases.
Definitely Haas looking strong right now. 1-2 provisionally here in qualifying. Daniel Monaf, the two rivals. Routinius right behind him. Squid in 5th there doing solid. Cactus, a driver who's had some up and down opportunities in races this season. He's in 6th at the moment as Grenade Gorin here in the Ferrari around home, getting it done. Number 86 at 30.5. Provisional pole.
Dirk had a massive moment out of parabolic. He was starting a lap. He's right now on P19. He hasn't set a lap yet, but he struggled so much. He actually had to lift and he went to the gravel. So not the best way to start a lap. Of course, he will continue with. It's a valid lap still. But he lost a lot of time on the run to turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. He'll have to go around again here and see what he's able to do on another opportunity. Of course, massive shout out. We have a huge tournament coming up in the MRL. If you're interested in participating, it's open participation as there is a Haas around. That's Beccario. A car slowing down just ahead of Yasko, who comes across the line. What on earth just happened there?
He lost it on the traction on parabolic, as we saw. As I said, Dark did the same. So it seems like very common mistake there. I think Polypan will start just a lap. Right now, there's a driver on his debut. Daniel Monaf go fastest with a 30.0. It's half a second faster than the provisional pole was from Grenade Gordon. And I think, well, I'm really not sure about that, but I think probably the link could be even lighter, or just the drivers getting used to the track.
Well, I definitely think there's a big adaptation here. You know, they need to all get to terms with the circuit. They need to figure out where the grip is, and those first laps are going to be exactly that. These second laps, and we've seen in wet qualifying throughout the season, these drivers tend to chain the laps on the wet compound tires, and they just improve and improve and improve until they're happy. They come in, and sometimes they won't even get on a fresh set. Duncan Yu sets his time now. A current gap, of course, 2 leader. Well, things are quite spread out between the top 4, right? Well, things are tight between the top 4. Yasko a little bit further back, and then from 5th all the way down to really 14th, things are between a second in range here on the grid right now.
Polypank out of Ascari. I think he's right now valid, so this should be the first time for the AlphaTauri driver. A Spaniard on the AlphaTauri. I remember on Hungary as well, wet qualifying on season 2, where it was with the Toro Rosso, and well, it was a good debut, I think. So right now we will see the Spaniard what he can do. Right now I think he will jump into P12, so it's a good first lap for him.
Yeah, very solid lap from him. Arrow in the Mercedes has invalidated his run. Now, we've had pretty well every driver on this grid set a time except Arrow. He's going to fly into the pit lane, and Damon Plays, who's presently sitting in the pit lane over at McLaren. Now, not too many drivers on runs. Take a look at Yasko. We'll follow along with him with the camera for a moment. But of course, massive shout out to the fact that we have a huge tournament coming up in the MRL. I tried to mention it earlier, but exclamation event if our chat commands are working today, and that will take you, of course, to our website to apply to this 80 driver tournament. There's going to be a giveaway of a Next Level Racing cockpit, as well as some prizes for the drivers that win the tournament in the top 3 slots, and a prize for the driver who scores the most points over the course of the tournament as well. But it is going to be a very fun time, and you can find all the info over on our website, misfitsrl.com.
Jasko, I think, is improving half a second. I think this can be a time to put himself up into P2. He's right now going to cross the line. He's at 30.1. He's just 13 thousandths, I think, behind Daniel Monaf. And that's a very, very tight gap, as we have a Sector 3 yellow flag. I think someone leaving space between cars to make these drivers set a qualifying lap. And now as well, Dark Chocolate, I think, was setting the sector to fastest lap, almost cutting down Ascari and out invalidating, but he's still valid.
Oof.
Out of Ascari,
What a
oh
drift.
god.
What a drift on him getting that recovered around outside of Ascari there. That could have been his qualifying over right there, Alex. Easily.
Was a big save from the McLaren drivers. And right now he jumped into P6 as we see Grenade Goran putting that intermediates. Probably that can be the call right now.
We'll have to see. With a big snap for the McLaren driver there. That's enough to make you nervous, Alex.
Maka, big mistake out of the second chicane. No wing at the moment for the Haas driver. I think he lost it there on traction out of that chicane. Of course, the curb can really unsettle the car that much. That, well, of course, that can happen. Luckily for him, I think he's still on the qualifying. So just change the wing and go for another. But I think this is a knock for his confidence.
Yeah, definitely. On board with Vincent coming through Ascari right now. As we were looking at Maka, I saw Vincent come out of that second Lesmo, and he had a big snap. We'll see if he's able to improve here. You can see him right now trying to find a little bit more wet. We'll have to see if those intermediates that Grenade has fitted. He hasn't come out with them yet, but he has them fitted on that car. We'll have to see if he's able to do anything with them. Here goes Vincent now to the line. Will it be an improvement for him? Yes. A massive improvement for Vincent in the AlphaTauri, a near second. 31.1 for him now, 7th position on the grid.
This is still raining too much. I don't know if Grenade, if Grenade did of course he's still in the pit, so it's no major problem, as I think we have Jasko flying, improving almost a 10th out of Sector 1, but on a very, very old wet compound tires at the moment. So we'll see if he can manage to improve this, or he will go to the pits and set, and put another set of full wet tires.
See how he's able to go here through Ascari, Yasko now, and a lot of speculation in the chat right now, of course, here on Twitch about what the weather will be like, Alex, at the end of this session. You know, everyone thinking maybe it'll taper off to that intermediate. It doesn't look like the rain is really lightening up. It looks like this wet, heavy rain, you know, is here to stay. And here comes
like,
Yasko. He's not even going to finish this. He's on a fuel.
He doesn't have fuel. He doesn't have fuel. 4 runs he did on those full wet tires. And, well, it was just timing perfectly to go to the pits. He was improving for a provisional pole. He won't do it at this moment, so he needs to pray that the conditions don't go worse. But I don't think that can be a thing right now. Just look at the rain pouring down here at Monza.
Yeah, there's a lot of standing water. I mean, we have 5.5 minutes remaining in the session. One driver to take our attention to is the other McLaren partnering Dark Chocolate. Mr. Damon Plays, of course, and he was one of the last drivers to get a lap in, but he did slot himself into that top 10. He is flying again, I believe, and he is coming down into Ascari, and we'll just take a look at what he is able to do.
Vicario is flying there out of Parabolic, and he will set the provisional pole. Right now, 6 hundredths is the difference between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo of Daniel Monaf. So right now Vicario is provisional pole. 5 minutes to go. Probably a little bit more for these drivers, but I don't think that matches up the difference.
Damon Plays now coming through Parabolica. No stranger to the wet compound tires, Alex. We saw what they did for him, of course, in Spa last week. Here he comes now to the line. It's an improvement of near 2/10, and it's 7th position ahead of back row for him.
Arrow as well, he's flying at the moment. Dirk on Lesmo 2. I will jump into Arrow as he is now down to Ascari. He's improving half a second. This could be a very good lap, but he invalidates there on the entry of Ascari on turn 8, and, well, that's the run done and dusted. Well, he will try to do another one, I guess.
Getting a look at Dirk Chocolate as he comes through Ascari right now. He's flying, and we'll see what he's able to do, as he will be the next driver to potentially cross with a top 5 time here. Arrow, as you said, invalidated, but he is running again. Bit of a slip for Dirk coming out of Parabolica. Be able to do at the line, it's good for 5th, a near 3/10 improvement, 30.383 for the Brit.
This is very close, and with these wet conditions, you really can do a mistake like on every inch of this lap.
Yeah.
On this track, it's very, very difficult to put the time perfect there and do a perfect lap, because well, you can see the track how it is and how difficult it is to manage. Dirk was doing a good lap. He's only slipped a little bit there on Parabolica, and that can cause you a pole position.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. In this grid right now, if you look at it, not a lot of the favorites in this race, I don't think, in that top 10 where they want to be. Of course, there's a couple of them not even in that top 10 right now. Of course, we've got 3 minutes remaining in the session. Dirk Chocolate still continuing to fly as Rutanius now goes 5th quickest. He improves by a 10th and a half.
Mike as well, he's flying right now. He's going to cross the second line to enter sector 3. He's not improving that much, 77,000. So at the moment, out of Ascari, we'll see what the can do. Have as well Green Goran flying. A lot of drivers flying, and Rutinius as well, I think. He has Squid traffic.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the situation is for all these drivers at the moment. Not entirely sure if that's going to be considered blocking. I think it is. Rutanius dropping his lap. So, I mean, there's a bit of confusion in these conditions, it would appear.
I think Squid was flying as well. He was setting a not bad sector 1, but probably a mistake from both, as they didn't time the lap start very good. Probably that can be an issue for them. Right now, they have still time to set another one. Still 2 minutes remaining. So we'll see how this finishes.
Mo in the other Racing Point jumped himself into 8th position here. Taking a look at everybody on this grid to see who we can find on an active improvement. Of course, if you're just tuning in, tell your friends we have a lot of rain ahead of us here in Monza. The Tier 3 grid has been doing a good chunk of wet running lately after what a dry start to the season we had, Alex. And now we'll just have to see how they fare around a full wet campaign at the Temple of Speed, making things a little bit slower than usual and a little bit trickier than usual.
Of course, the rain can be a major factor there. As I think Vincent is going to start a lap. I think we're going to see the last runs right now, as the timer is going really. Oh, Polypan has him. Well, he retires on pits. He doesn't have much time, so the best position will be at P13. Beccari as well retires, I think, on pits. He doesn't have time to set another one, so that can be dangerous, because I don't think that pole is secured at the moment.
No, I don't think it is either. Definitely not. There's a couple of guys who are really hunting it down, and I'll tell you something, Daniel Munaf is up a 10th out of Sector 1 right now, which means that he has a very good opportunity to snatch that pole position. Rutanius, the championship leader, has also retired the car for session.
Have a lot. Daniel, Jasco, Duncan, I think is flying as well. Grenade, right now he'll cross the line on a brief moment. He's out of Parabolica. We will see the time from the Ferrari driver. Right now in P5, he will jump into P4. It's not that massive, but it's one place. But Duncan just flying at the moment. Dirk is not, I think, because he's low on fuel. But we'll see what the Alfa Romeo of Daniel Monov can do. He's improving a lot.
Daniel now to the line. Well, there it is. That's a huge improvement for him. That's a massive improvement for him. What a time coming out of Daniel Munaf now. And as you said, so many drivers looking to improve here. Yasko could be one of them. Dirk out of fuel now.
Alex Bad as well improving. He's not going to jump into the pit, top 10, but right now it's on P12. We have Dirk, I think, without fuel.
Well, that's a very good run for Alex. You can't knock him there. He's within 6/10 of Vicario on that run. Things are very tight in this grid.
Duncan you has invalidated, so he will not be improving at this moment. And I think Grenade Goran is still flying, so probably he can improve another one. Yeah, he's 1/10 up, so he can put himself into P2 on the front row. We will see Zasco improves into P2. Oh, it's not that sad actually. 6/10. What a lap from Daniel Mona, but Zasco improves to P2. Duncan you goes to the pits. Grenade Goran, I think right now is on parabolic, and he will try to put a good time. He was improving. I don't know how much will be when he crosses the line on sector 3. Yellow flags, I think, for Ronald retiring on pits. The Ferrari right now going down to the line. It's a 30.0, and it's not enough for the front row, but will be enough for P3, and this will be the session done.
Wow, what a session that was. Full wet quali here for round 15, of course. Before we jump into the action, I just want to give a massive thank you to everybody who has rated us. We had quite a few raids. We had Max come through with a raid, Vexit as well, and of course Ace. Thank you so much for the raids, guys. Greatly appreciate all of the support. Of course, as we jump into racing action, we are expecting a wet race, and what a qualifying it was also in the wet. Daniel Monoff on pole position, the Alfa Romeo, a 29.320, and we've seen him have some amazing runs in the wet before. Yasko, of course, a 129.917, just 6/10 off the rear of Daniel. Daniel with that very good time near the end there, with Grenade, the Ferrari driver from Sweden, rounding out your top 3. He was just 0.013 Alex off of that sub 129 or some 130, excuse me there. But we'll just have to see how the rest of this grid lines up for this wet race. Oh, there we have it. There's the rain. All drivers getting those setups dialed in now, and of course they're going to have their formation lap to get accustomed to the conditions of the circuit. Oh, I'm very excited for this race. Very, very excited.
I am. I think, as I saw Jake on the chat, if I'm not mistaken, he drove here in Italy on the EU division we had last season. And I think he managed to do a no stop, if I'm not mistaken, or at least I remember he got a lot of wear on those intermediates or full wet compounds. I think it was intermediates. And I think it was more than 90% of wear, if I'm not mistaken, if Jake is there to confirm. But I think that was a very good drive as well. Back row as good had collide there on the formation lap, and I think this is going to be very, very intense. We will see this grid. The tires they have chose, of course, everyone on interiors seems like a lighter rain than the original race, so we'll be very, very happy to see these drivers fighting here on Monza. Very, very tight grid as we saw in qualifying.
Well, here we have it once again. If you're just joining us, taking a look at the full 20 driver lineup on this grid, we have Daniel Monoff in the Alfa Romeo on pole position. Yasko lining up next to him on the front row in the Red Bull. Grenade Goran, of course, he is in the Ferrari starting third. Vicario fourth in the Haas. Duncan Yu fifth in the Renault. Damon Dirk 6-7 for the pair of them in the McLarens. Britannia starting this race in 8th position for Racing Point. The Drivers' Championship leader, Lavelle, in 9th for Alfa Romeo. Back row in 10th position there, unfortunately getting himself caught up with Squid on the formation in the Red Bull. He's running out your top 10. Squid there in 11th. Vincent 12th. We have Cactus here in 13th position with Alex Budd and the other Williams. He'll be starting 14th here. Maka in 15th. We have 16th position being held by Moen right now. Unicorn in 17th for Renault, with Aero, the Spanish driver, in the Mercedes here in 18th position. Polypunk 19th on the grid with Linus Tech Tips. Or Keck Tips, excuse me. That caught me. He is, of course, bringing out the rear of this grid in the Ferrari.
They're really warming those tires. I think they really need to. It's raining a lot. Should be, of course, for inters we see, but if it starts to rain more, those inters can really cool down fast, and you really don't want that. And of course, you really want a good traction out of that main straight to go down to the turn one.
Well, it's all about the race start, especially in these conditions, and it's a drizzle right now from what we can see, but it's Daniel, Yasko, Grenade, your top three. And we'll just have to see how they fare on this race restart. Of course, Alex, I'll give you the honors to take us away off the line once again, but we'll just have to see who fares best.
This is going to be very tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here on Monza, on Italy. The lights are off, and right now we will see the Red Bull of Jasco, I think, having a better start again than Daniel Monovan is right now up into P1. Is the Red Bull of Jasco right now into P1? We have a 4 wide behind. Who's that? It's both McLaren there.
Oh!
Have a massive impact with Dirt Chocolate. He has damage already, and we have a lot of debris there flying through the track.
Dirt Chocolate with no front wing. That is a full safety car deployed on the opening lap of this race into turn one. I have absolutely no idea what happened there, but I can't say I'm overly surprised considering these conditions, Alex. This is one of the cleanest grids that we have. They don't get into issues like this much, but these conditions and Monza, they just might have been the combination to throw a wrench in it for these guys.
Whoa, that was, he went, I think, sideways there on the main straight for almost 5 wide. I think we had a McLaren probably off track on the right part of the main straight. And I really don't know what caused it. Probably, well, too much cars on the same spot. And that will cause the front wing for Dirt Chocolate. And I think for more drivers, as we saw Beccari as well, having that damage down from P4 to P10. But of course, this safety car can be lucky for some of these drivers, as they will have the option to pit right now. Not only that, but Squid and Alex Butt, both Williams. Oh, Vincent, I think, went really off track if it was not a lag spike. But they will have the option to pit right now, serve those 5 seconds in front wings, and probably even try to put a new set of inserts and who knows, go to the end. Beccari is struggling a lot.
Yeah, Vincent Beccario right now, not a lot of downforce on those front wings. Beccario's just driven into the rear of Linus on my end here, and he's taken 5 seconds for that, and I don't know if Linus has taken a penalty as well. I believe he has. I haven't got a clue what that was. Beccario right now, I think, needs to get it together on this grid. Not entirely sure what's going through the Haas driver's head.
I think it's an illegal overtake loop. Should be, and now understeering. I think the damage is really costing. Doesn't want to have more penalties there to serve, as he's waiting to cross there to pit, I guess. Yes, he's, but I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, yeah, he's not having a good day today, this Haas driver, and I'm not sure what to say about it.
No, he didn't have the best entry or the first the best first lap. He'll have to serve 5 seconds. He has 10, and I think even more he will have after the stewards review. We're now putting a new set of intermediates, new wing, serving 5 seconds as a set. And well, we'll be on the back of the grid.
Well, this race start has certainly provided us with some drama, Alex. The Tier 3 grid getting a handful today, to say the least. Yasko right now is the race leader, the timing tower. Playing a little bit of trickery right now, of course, on screen, but I can confirm to you, Yasko in the Red Bull is leading this race, followed by Daniel Monaf and, well, the driver that started in 8th position. It is the championship leader, Rutanius, in the Racing Point. And he was off to a stellar performance at the first race start before we had to unfortunately draw a red flag and restart the campaign.
But he did it again. A good start, 5 place gained. Well, he's up there with the championship rival Dana Monav. Jasko is right now leading and having a good streak of podiums and victories. Well, very good results from the Red Bull, as well as from his teammate back row there on P5. And well, we don't have to forget about Dan McLaren there on P4 without damage, I think, as he didn't pit. His teammate did. He's right now down to P16. But well, Damon Place is there holding P4. Oh,
Linus has had an issue. I can't see exactly where it is. Okay, it's coming through Parabolica, and he's looking really close to where Charles Leclerc crashed last season. In reality,
back row as well? It was on P5.
These conditions really proving to be tricky for this grid right now, Alex. Really, we're on lap 3, ladies and gentlemen. We're under safety car conditions. And we're getting ourselves quite the dynamic run around Italy today for the Temple of Speed here. Round 15 of MRL Season 4. Of course, highlights and the full race replays as well as guides and all the great action can be found across all of our social media, but mainly our YouTube. And of course, if you are just tuning in, we have a great tournament that has just begun registration, happening soon. And of course, you can check out misfitsrl.com for all the info on that, or type !event.
Oh god, that was very intense, and we were under yellow flags from turn 2. Ooh, Linus did a very good job. Right now he's only one place up from the start, but well, he was 12. So that start just vanished. He did that mistake. I don't think the safety car will be on this lap, as we're waiting for these two drivers who speeded. One for damage and the other one for getting rid of that 5-second time penalty on the name of Beccario. And well, they're catching this grid as all these 18 drivers ahead of them are waving. And I'm, well, really don't know what to say, because that start was really, really intense. We can see Cactus gaining 6 places, Owen gaining 8 places, Bagro gaining 1 place after, I think, I don't know if it was lag, he was on P5, he dropped back to P9. Then Unicorn as well gaining a lot of places, as well as Arrow, just on top 10. But of course we have winners. If we have winners, we have losers on places. It's Dark Chocolate who lost 8, Global as well lost 8, Squid lost 7, and Vicario, I think, the most shocked here on 16 on 16 down places.
A lot of these drivers now, Alex, they've been participating in league racing, or at the very least MRL racing, for some time. They know these races are long. I imagine when there's an opening safety car, you get when you get into one of those opening lap incidents, correct me if I'm wrong, you drive a lot as well. You get into one of those opening lap incidents, you get really frustrated, you get irritated, you're annoyed that that's how things have began. You've got a wing damage, you got a little bit on your front left or your front right, or you've cooked your tires or something like this. That safety car comes out, and especially when it's this early, it's kind of just a rolling restart. It's kind of that reset that we just did, but with that rolling restart. For me, it's a sigh of relief. It's a genuine mental reset. Would you say that's the case, or would you say it depends on what phase of the race it's in, or what would you say about that?
Yeah, I think all depends on the circumstances as a safety car will be in this lap. But before that, I have to say, I mean, you're frustrated at the moment you have the crash. I think Vicario, of course, was, but he was on P4. Then he had the crash, and you're frustrated like a lot. You don't know what to do. You're just shocked. And well, the safety car came out there. It was it saved a little bit the race for Vicario, because otherwise that damage and that pit stop down would hurt him a lot. So I think right now he has to see the positive part of this. He has a safety car. He has another chance to do that, and he had the pace on qualifying, and I think he can do it on the race as well.
Well, here we go. Safety car is on the way in. Yasko here has hammered it down, Alex. He's gone, and he has caught Daniel massively here. Nearly it is a second. The gap already, Yasko. Rutanius has caught up with Daniel quite well, and you can see here Rutanius might have a run on the Alfa Romeo already, and looks like Linus the Ferrari's had an issue through Parabolica on the inside now. Rutanius creating a little bit of space for himself with a bit of a push, I think, for Daniel. Hold on the phone. Damon's looking around the Alfa Romeo as well. We're coming through the Curva Grande now. I've been here before. Not enough in it right now for Damon, though, to get the move around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. But what a restart this has been. Rutanius ahead of Daniel. Daniel under threat from Damon already.
Mauro hit the... Oh, Arrow was lagging a lot. 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. He was avoiding, I think, the back of some car. I really don't know which was. I think probably Maca. But right now he will lose places, and not only that, but he has a 5-second time penalty as Dirk goes on the inside of Lesmo 1. He has damage. Arrow has damage there on the front left end plate. Dirk up into P14. He's really doing that comeback. Back row had that damage, I think, from Duncan Yu. He missed the braking point and hit the back part of that Renault.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him right now as he's got that damage. He's dropping like a stone through this grid on the restart. See now, Moen on the rear of Cactus. Not entirely sure if Cactus got through the opening or the restart lap unscathed either. There were a few drivers that got caught up.
Well, I'm back row overtaking Aras. He has damage. He will, I think, limps back to the pits. We can see a lot of tight gaps. I think Dirk is one of that. Vincent Nickbis can be the next big team, and he goes down the inside right now, using that overtake on the main straight. It seems like a very easy move for Dirk Chocolate. Right now, braking late. He has to lock the tires, otherwise he will have to touch both.
Oh, Squid. Well, it's a big slide from Vincent on the way into turn one. Squid now on the outside as we come through into the Curva Grande now on the inside. Squid, he's looking on the inside of the AlphaTauri now as we come through into the chicane. Look at the run coming out of Squid, holding that tight inside line now. He's gonna have the outside as we come through the chicane, back switching into the inside now. Will he get this move done? Squid, the Williams driver, get in there as he come into the first Lesmo. Wow, that is what you like to see.
Not only that, Becario, he will hit the back part of the AlphaTauri. He's off on Lesmo too. He will rejoin right now, but his Linus there waiting on that yellow flag. Becario on the gravel, he's trapped right now. He will just go off there, but he lost a lot of time.
Squid still holding off Vincent, one of the tightest gaps on grid right now, as everybody's just trying to get themselves really comfortable now in this grid. 6 laps out of 27 we are on presently, as Yasko will cross to start us on lap 7. Retanius, Daniel exchanging fastest laps. The fastest lap now, 1:39.95 coming out of the Alfa Romeo in third.
Look at Dirk. He has a lot of streamline speed. He's just so close on Polybank. He will do the same move he did on the teammate of the Spaniard. Yeah, definitely. Right now he's fully ahead on turn 1. He's braking late. He logs again the front right. Makawa was trying to have a look there on Alex, but it seems like Dirk has a lot of streamline speed.
Back row on the way into turn 1 here. I'm not sure if he has damage. Just cut the entirety of the first inside curbing there. And it looks like there was an issue with Vincent. Vincent's let him by. Dirk Chocolate now on the... Well, he's looking at Maka. He goes later on the brakes. Around the outside into the chicane. Dirk Chocolate making moves here. Maka on the outside still, but better traction for Dirk. Gonna get the move through there on Maka. What a move. Polypunk is there to pick up the pieces. Holy smokes.
Duncan knew what happened. He had a bad exit of Lesman too. I think probably he was on the gravel or the grass. He lost 2 places with Cactus, and now Moen out of into P7. He's really doing a very good job for his teammate on the points again. And I think he has a very good pace today.
What racing we're seeing here already, Alex, as we just go lap after lap. Everybody pretty well in close proximity right now. You can see gap from first all the way down to 17th position is 17 seconds, and then things really start to taper off. Everybody's still pretty close on this grid. We've had some pit stops as a result of the safety car. Of course, Yasko holding on to that fastest lap. Everything just starting to space itself out neatly. We'll see how everybody manages their battery here.
He's very close right now. Becario is in the fastest lap, I think. Well, we know he had the pace. He qualified on P4, but unlucky for him, I think. He went off twice right now. Squid will try the Maka, but he touches the rear of the Haas driver. At the moment, he doesn't live there. And there's the space there on the outside for the Williams. He will try it there on the second chicane there, side by side. And Maka, it seems like he will lose, but a little bit of understeer, I think, for the Williams. And Maka will have a better traction right now ahead on Lesmo 1.
Ooh. A little bit of a shake coming out of Maka now. Squid holding well.
Lovell will have a look of this. Squid is giving a little bit the slip trim to the Alfa Romeo. He doesn't know where to choose, but it seems like it's going to be a 3-wide here. Ascari, Squid just ahead. Lovell leaves, and right now it's Maka side by side. He won't try the move there. It's very risky as Lovell loses the rear, and Backrow will take a look there on the inside on the exit of Ascari. That's a place for the Red Bull. He's right now up into 15.
Wow, what racing we're seeing here. Look at this now. Squid, Maka, Still fighting Squid on the inside of Parabolica now. Maka wanting to get it done around the outside, but there's not a lot of traction right now for him.
Daniel Monaf on the chicane, on the first chicane of Routinus on the outside. He will not have the traction there. He's trapped. There's a space for one car, but not enough for a good traction. But it's still, he managed to do it. Out traction there for the Alfa Romeo. But it seems like a very good straight line speed for Routinus. They are both wasting that energy, but Daniel Monaf will just be ahead of the leader of the championship.
Very, very nice stuff coming out of these two. And of course, Dirk Chocolate got a move on Alex, but here goes Dunk on You on Moen now into the chicane on the inside. He gets the move done. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure what's happened. It looks like there's an issue. Linus is off. Very unfortunate to see the Ferrari struggling here in Italy. Home circuit for that constructor, of course. And Maka still fighting with Squid.
So close. This gap is so close between these 5 drivers, between Squid and Vincent. This is good for Ricario. It's 10 seconds gap though. It will be hard to close that gap, but right now Maka will try the move on Ascari. Before Ascari, actually it seems on Squid. Squid goes defensive one time. We'll see Maka on the outside, it seems. Very tight on Ascari. Not enough there to jump that place. Squid will hold that position on Ascari out of turn 10.
Lovely views we're getting right now out of this equation. Are we going to have a move into Parabolica here? He's looking for that outside line, and we saw it last time through here. A couple of runs coming down into the first turn. Grenade, close. Dunk, Moen, everyone's close. Unicorn now. Dirk Chocolate on the inside, through into turn 1, getting the move done on the Renault. Back to Maka. Squid on the outside for Maka. Let's see what happens here. Squid holds it out in front right now. How's the exit for Maka? Does Backrow have a look in? Nothing doing just yet, but Unicorn looking on the inside of Dirk into the chicane. Later on the brakes for the Renault on the inside. Dirk forced to take the off run. He's going to drop back.
Overtake, it seems, yeah. Seems like a little overtake, and Alex Bad is really close right now. He won a lot of time through that section, and right now Polypunk as well. It seems like on the same pace as Alex Bad. And, well, they are really catching these drivers fighting for the top 10 spot. And right now Dirk will try to do it again.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting right now on lap 10. It has by no means been a boring race. Everybody bringing their own style of driving and racing in these wet conditions to the table today. Moen looking at Dunk on You into Parabolica. He might have an opportunity into turn 1.
But Dunk on You has a slip out of Parabolica. We'll see if he can take benefit of that slipstream with Cactus. Moen will have it on Dunk on You, and we will see which driver has more straight line speed, but at the moment it seems like he won't try it on turn 1.
Taking a look right now, it would be a day late and $1 short if he was to try and get it in there right now. Alex Budd here, though, on Dirk. He's a little bit tighter. Alex Budd, though, a very patient driver. I don't think we're going to see it just yet. Maybe if he had the fronts to the rears of that McLaren. I think that is the only way that he'd punch that ticket.
Dirk right now very close on Unicorn. Look at the straight line speed from the McLaren. There's contact.
Oh, there goes Dirk. He's sliding through the Curva Grande. Someone's gone into the rear of him. That's Polypunk. Will this spark any kind of safety car? Fast movers coming through out of the Curva Grande. Now the yellow flags are up. Dirk with a major amount of damage on the front end of this McLaren right now. We're trying to get you all the view. Polypunk and Vincent, the teammates, now having a bit of an exchange, but we're not going to see a VSC or a safety car, of course, at all right now. Mr. Yasko, 2.4 seconds ahead of Mr. Daniel Monaf. The man is on a charge, and he's been charging quite well in wet conditions recently. Of course, we saw him in both Silverstone and Hungary with solid performances on the wet compound tires. And here he is once again coming down the straight here in Monza, looking large and in charge, Alex.
Yeah, he has the best routines will pit right now. It's still raining, so I guess should be an undercut, a normal undercut for the intermediates. Well, I'm very unlucky there with the move on Dirk with Unicorn, so he will have to pit again. I think that AlphaTauri right now down into P18.
Still a very long race, large campaign, long race. Of course, Dirk on his way in, as you said, he's going to have to get that wing switched over. They'll get a fresh set of rubber, though, and I do believe this is a one-stop race where everyone will need to come on another set of intermediate compound tires. Of course, there's still perspective or potential for a safety car. We're not even halfway yet. We're just about halfway, but not there quite yet. Alex Budd and Unicorn now. Unicorn in 7th position. The Williams driver quite close to him on the rear.
Back row on the inside of Lovell. Lovell was very close on Maka, but he didn't try the move. Back row did it. Right now up into P11. By the way, Dirk just chose the full wet compound, and I really don't think that's going to work. But he has to try something different. He's there on the back, and well, as I said, a different strategy as back row has his leap out of Lesmo 2, and Lovell will try that move in the Alfa Romeo on the inside of the back straight, using that overtake button or force no DRS on rain conditions. Lovell on the inside. For Ascari, it's very close, and back row taps the back of Alfa Romeo. I don't think he has damage, but it was very dangerous.
It was a clean move for Lavelle there to try and get through on back row, but it's a good run for back row, seemingly so for him coming out of Ascari. Just to stick well with Lavelle, but he's got to keep in mind he can't fight Lavelle too hard, or he might expose himself to Vincent. Vincent on 2-lap fresher tires as well. Now Alex Budd on the way into the pit lane. He'll be the first of the 2 Williams to do so.
I have to tell you something. Their chocolate is not losing that time with Arrow. They are on the same pace on 9.3, 9.2, 9.4 sometimes.
They're gone to the wet compounds.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, there's a lot of straights in Monza. I feel like they can confuse. I feel like it can be deceiving.
We'll have to see the gap between Polypunk and Dirk as they pitted on the same time and different tires. He's right now holding the pace, but we'll see. Of course, the straights should be faster, the intermediates, but the wets probably can gain some time during Sector 2 and Parabolica.
There we go. Daniel Monaf now has taken a 3-second time penalty, and we take a look at the penalties. Fiasco in even better shape considering that penalty for Daniel. 2.6 the gap plus 3 seconds. We'll call it 5.5, and then Damon also at 3 seconds. You can see Unicorn there with 5 seconds himself in 7th position. Alex Budd and Arrow have also taken 3 apiece.
Zasco spinning right now. Vincent has a big snap out of this car. It's again, Retinus will take that place. As I was gonna say, Retinus has to really push to make this undercut work. Damon Place will have a 5-second time penalty for spinning on the pit lane. He was in a very good place, and right now that's going to cost him a lot of time, and even more if there's a safety car at the final stage of this race. The right now Retinus has to really push. We have another driver, I think it's Maka, going to the pits. A lot of drivers going to the pits, actually.
Well, one thing in common with all these drivers, Alex, that have come into the pit lane as well is that they're all going on to these intermediate compound tires, which really makes me scratch my head when I look at the McLaren sitting in 20th position. That's Dirk Chocolate. Does he know something that we don't about the weather conditions? Does he think that this rain is going to get heavier?
What I know right now is that he has lost 2 seconds on one lap.
Oh, what a dive from Squid. And you know what I have to say, Alex? He went very deep there. He had to take the off run, and that is going to be a position back for Unicorn. And not only Unicorn, but this has given Yasko an opportunity to move through on the Williams and further separate himself from Daniel Monaf overall.
He tried it. Unicorn lost that place, but then recovered out of turn 2 as we have a yellow flag, I think, for Alex. But now Yasko on new intermediates will overtake Unicorn. I think Unicorn doesn't want to lose any time there as Yasko. Well, he's just leading this race virtually right now. The top 3 haven't pit yet. So he's the net leader, and he has clean air. Rotunis doesn't have clean air, and he has to clear this traffic without DRS. That's the most important thing here in Italy.
Squid now hunting down Unicorn. Unicorn on his way into the pit lane. They're both on their way into the pit lane. Squid trying to get a little bit clever there, I think, trying to get ahead of Unicorn on his way in, and he's taken 5 seconds for speeding with that lockup as well.
And not only for him, but for Unicorn. I think he pushed the Renault, and he gave Unicorn 5 seconds time. Not as well. They both will have to serve one. They have before, I think. Well, Unicorn doesn't. Seems like
if he took it on the way in, he won't have to serve it now.
They have 10 seconds. It's driver. Well, right now they have 5 if they serve one penalty, but
maybe that's odd. Very odd. Maybe they just took the 10. Regardless,
On the
there's still a
outside.
lot of action here with them. Maka, Unicorn, wheel to wheel. Unicorn getting through.
And Derek is pitting right now. I think he's going to change for an intermediate tire. Yeah, he is doing it. He will regret about that decision before. He had to race something. He was on the back, and well, I don't blame him. I would do the same if I know.
Ooh, Daniel
Shores,
Monaf. 5 seconds for speeding, Alex.
No, who's that? It's back row.
What's happened with
It's
back row on the
gone
exit
out
out of
of
Ascari? Ooh, that was very, very, very close for Damon on the way through. He almost hit the Red Bull. Taking a look at the front wing right now. Very fortunate for the Red Bull. It does not appear to have any damage on the front end.
Squid is around on Ascari. I think he tried to move on the inside of Unicorn, but he found the other way because he's right now facing the wrong way, and he's leaving space for Polybank as well to rejoin the track after him. Very unlucky, very unlucky. I think he was very optimistic on that move.
Things starting to separate themselves now in Tier 3 racing here. It, of course, is the 15th round of MRL. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for being here. My name is Stryfium here from Canada. Joining me is Alex Biddo from Spain here for the commentary. And you could be racing here with us in the MRL as well. All you got to do is jump into the Discord and apply, exclamation apply, and we have a fantastic, fantastic event going on or coming in a few weeks. And one thing to talk about here is that Daniel managed to stay out, get ahead of Rutanius. And I have to say, he still maintained a gap to Yasko. If you think about it, when Yasko came in, he was further than how he is now to Daniel. So Daniel showing some good pace right now. The penalty situation for him, though, isn't looking the most ideal. Squid has tired.
Yeah, he has retired on the pits. I think he was not having the best race of the season, so he will be finishing on P20 right now. Polybank very close back row. It doesn't seem like a move will be right now, but I think it's the closest gap as well as Unicorn and Maka.
Well, I'll tell you one driver who is going to be really kicking himself, I think, Dark Chocolate, after he had that unfortunate incident through, I think, Curva Grande it was. Then he came in for the wet compounds.
I think the penalties can have a major role here.
I agree
As we
with
have
that.
Daniel Mona with 8 seconds. That could be 2 places lost. And right now, I think he knows it because he's pushing. But not only him, Damon plays, I think, as well. 8 seconds. Momo with 3. And all of these drivers who don't have penalties, they really need to, to know that they don't have it, and well, they don't have to push that much. Back row right now on the outside of Curva Grande. It seems like a very easy move. Alex, but of course, this rain is really tricky. It's really tricky to take that. Oh, Alex,
yeah. As you say it, I have to say that's a commentator's curse there, Alex.
again.
If I've ever seen one, you and I racking up quite the count.
Both leaders, Duncan Yu and Grenade pitting right now. They will have a very good set of intermediates at the end. Well, of course, I think 3 laps fresher than Zastico, 5 laps fresher than Rutenius. So they really want to push on this second stint as Moen will overtake, I think, Grenade Goran. It's going to be very, very close on turn 1, but I think Grenade Goran just there ahead of the racing point. It's very close. Oh, Moen tries it there on the second part of the chicane. It won't be the best decision for the racing point as he's not going to get that move done. He has 3 seconds time penalty as well. So right now he really wants to push.
That was a very tight exchange. Moen on the 3-lap intermediates, I imagine, would have loved to stick himself in front of the Ferrari here around Monza.
Red Goran really needs to push. He doesn't have penalties. He's on the fresher compound of this grid, as well as Beccari, who repeated as well. He's down into P11, so it's not that bad after all of the incidents he had. He's really showing the pace he has, and he really wants to take points today on Monza. 10 laps to go as Zasco is there on Parabolic, and the gap between Zasco and Daniel Monaf is still the same. It's 1.9. There is fluctuating not that much in the same 10th, and these leaders are showing an incredible pace on Monza on these tricky conditions.
Yeah, I mean, the first race of the week, full wet condition qualifying followed by an intermediate conditioned race. I mean, no races beforehand to get a sense of what's going on. I mean, I'm very curious to see how this plays out through the rest of the week of racing for round 15. Of course, we have the Americas division tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight, 2 a.m. for our friends, of course, British summertime, and 3 a.m. Central Europe. But that, of course, is the MRL Americas division tonight, and that will be around here once again, the Temple of Speed. Tomorrow we'll be back here, same time, same place on twitch.tv, Misfits RL for Tier 2 action. And that will be Unicorn and I in the commentary booth. And Thursday, same time, same place for Tier 1. A lot of racing to be had. Of course, this Saturday we have the Endurance Series back. That will be around Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, and Spain. And Sunday we'll have the APAC division once again for Italy, and we'll have the Formula 2 racing on YouTube. So tons of racing happening over in the Misfits community. So be sure you get into that Discord and sign up for our event, the Misfits Grand Championship, as well.
Arrow was very close on Unicorn there out of Curva Grande. It seems like Unicorn hold it. Demo Blaze having another 3-second time penalty right now, up into 11 seconds worth of penalties for the McLaren on P4. And not only that, I think I saw Beccari as well taking a 3-second time penalty, the first of him on his name. But Arrow tried it there. Well, he was very close, not enough speed, I would say, from the Mercedes driver. Doing as well another comeback, not only him, not only Beccari, not only Dirk Chocolate. A lot of these drivers did mistakes before, and right now they are really doing this comeback and trying to push as soon as, as much as they can, and of course, bring for a safety car at the end.
Yeah, definitely wanting a safety car. A lot of these drivers right now dunk on new Moen. Now, we saw Moen fighting a little bit with Grenade as Grenade came out of the pit lane. Dunk on you came out of the pit lane, a second and a half behind the Ferrari. Now he's caught up with the Racing Point on the inside of the Curva Grande now. Moen, not a lot that he can do to defend against the Renault with a run like that.
Not only him, but Ara as well will try the move on Unicorn. It seems like it's successful at the moment. Very, very close. Unicorn seems like he has more strength speed and, of course, more battery we can see there on the tank for the Renault driver. Arrow really extending the gap. It seems like he's clear just ahead of the Renault driver.
See if Unicorn has the ability to make anything happen and perhaps catch up with Arrow, considering the tire differential in these conditions. But you can see the rain, it really doesn't seem to be letting up. I think it's just holding station, and something's happened with Damon here in Ascari.
Mistake there. I think it was in the middle part of that chicane. He went wide and went to the gravel, the grass, and then touched the barrier. I don't know if he has damage, but of course it cost a lot of places for him. Cactus right now promoted to P5, Grenade Goran to P5. To P5. And right now they are very close. The Ferrari will try to attack the Mercedes driver.
Well, a big tire differential here. Cactus on a bit of an older set. Grenade less than half a second in it. You can see Cactus struggling a little bit as he comes through this first chicane, and Grenade looking to inherit everything in this Ferrari right now, but a big slide on exit. This is going to give Cactus a bit of an escape hatch. Unicorn
will try this on the slipstream of the Mercedes right now on the inside. He pulls on the inside. Is a very good move right now. They are still a little bit alongside, but we'll see if Arrow, known as a late braking driver, and yes, he will hold it there, but it's still side by side. We'll see on traction who's better. It seems like there's a little bit of wheel banging there for Unicorn and Arrow, but Unicorn better traction, and it seems like a more pointsy setup. Straight line speed seems better for the Renault, and we'll stay on P13. Very good battle between these drivers.
Well, here goes Arrow. Later on the brakes, a big lunge into the chicane. Does he get it wrapped around? Looks like he did. I don't know if he got the tires on track or if they went over the curbing there to take a warning. Arrow now, Unicorn back through. What a fight we're seeing here, and all this fighting. Look at who's here, Alex. Back row, and the Red Bull has joined the party.
He hasn't have the best race today, but they're on the back of this grid. But he's fighting back, and that's what we love to see. So only one DNF as Arrow takes too much that inside curve there on Ascari on the entry. Very easy to do that mistake, and it will be 3 seconds for him as a penalty. It's actually six, up into 6 seconds worth of penalties for the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, quite a few drivers taking penalties here around Monza, and the wet conditions haven't made it any easier to avoid going wide or extending, or for some drivers cutting the corners or the curbs.
Carr's still very close on Vincent, but ooh, big snap of oversteer there for the Haas. Arrow, again.
Oh, a bit of a snap there from Arrow. Back row was moving, I think, on the outside there, and
Yes, damage now.
they got caught up, and I'm not sure who has damaged. Who has damaged your back row with the damage in the Red Bull? And that is unfortunate for him on the hunt for Unicorn. A very rare mythical creature in the Renault.
Very bad luck. He went on around the outside, and Arrow lost it at the same time as the move was done. And well, we're not having the best luck as we said before. And that could be another commentator's curse. I'm really sorry for back row. We know he has a lot of pace. He really did it on Silverstone with his teammate. Right now he can't be up there. He's having a lot of incidents, and I don't think he will be happy about this performance today.
No, I think you're right in saying that. I think it's been a very up and down race for him. Lap 23 out of 27. Grenade Goran now. He's within a 1 second range of Cactus, of course, on the better tires, and we'll see what he's able to do long term if he's able to dispatch this Mercedes. Cactus will be thrilled to have that 4th position right now, and it might even net himself something more if he's able to do anything about this gap, or should Daniel take any more penalties. But you know, it is a stretch, but never out of the fight.
Cactus really protecting that place as Grenade Goran, as you said, is on the back. It doesn't seem like Grenade Goran is taking that run like out of Parabolica, out of the Lesmos. Doesn't seem like he's trying it, or not, at least not that hard. Probably he thinks he has the same pace as Cactus, and well, he's holding there. I think Cactus is not dropping that much of the leader of the championship ahead of him. Retinius is 7.1 behind Daniel, and he needs to be, well, he's doing the homework, because he needs to be on less than 8 seconds difference, and right now he's doing it. But I think that gap is extending a lot every lap.
Bit of a slide for Lavelle now coming out of Parabolica. Here goes the run. He's hunting down Damon. Grenade not quite close enough. Lavelle here, the Alfa Romeo on the inside as we make our way into turn 1. He's going to get that move easily through on Damon. And Lavelle will be happy about that. Damon going to try and actually make something happen. Penalties for these two, of course. Damon 11 seconds. Lavelle, no penalties to his name.
Their chocolate right now after the comeback is really trying to dispatch this Ferrari ahead of him. And I have seen a lot of overtakes today from Dirk, and I think he will have it easy. He has a lot of strength and speed, I've noted today. Around the outside of Parabolica, he will try it. What a move from Dirk Chocolate there on the last turn of the Monza track, and right now he's ahead. What a move. That was amazing. I didn't expect that.
Well, got to get some fireworks into a race that has gone from what was very good, I think, early on to somewhat of a disappointment, all things said and considered, considering he had very strong pace early on. That switch to the wet compound tires did not help him. Damon now taking an additional penalty. Here goes Polypunk. He's captured a position on Arrow, and Arrow, I think, starting to feel these 17-lap-old intermediates.
And I think it's raining even more. So probably Arrow, that's why he's holding those intermediates. Just to probably stretch it to the... we're on lap 25 already. I actually didn't notice. We're on lap 25, and I don't think it should be worth to pit again. Of course, only 2 laps, so take that gap down. So right now, I don't think that's the option. I don't think that's the option, but he will be suffering a lot on those intermediates.
Yeah, I think 17 laps, a very long stint here on those tires. Of course, it's going to be hard to find grip at 17 laps, even more so if it's getting to be more of a slippery surface. So even if it's, if the rain is getting heavier. Of course, for those of you tuning into the stream, thank you so much for viewing along with us, and we greatly appreciate your support of the MRL. We have a ton more racing to come this week. Of course, we've got America's later tonight, and after this racing action concludes in just a few laps, we'll have interviews, of course, with the top 3 racers. And then we are going to go ahead and raid a member of the community. I do believe we're going to be heading off after to see, well, the 19th position driver, Mr. Dirk Chocolate, to get him for a comment, perhaps, Alex.
Spitting for the wets. He's spitting for the wets, and I think it's not a good strategy, but I think it's the best compound right now. I think it's raining a lot, and well, he will just do some laps on the correct tire, let's say. But of course, I don't think he will get that gap down again. He's lapped up. He's just behind Rutinius, who's just crossing. Just on turns 2. But Dirk had, well, I don't know, just say disappointing, but unfortunate race for the McLaren driver.
Definitely an unfortunate race, and someone else who's had an unfortunate run today is Beccario, and here we have him now looking at Vincent. Penalty for Beccario, but he gets the move on the inside. A switchback opportunity for Vincent here. Does he get it back through on the Haas? Yes, he does. Very nice defense from Vincent there.
He's going to try it again. He's going to try it again on Kurban. He actually has to leave because otherwise that should be a major issue on the inside. He locks both tires. The Spaniard there, oh, a little bit of lovely tap there, but it was a very, very, well, a good old dive,
A tight move there for both drivers. And now we're on the penultimate lap here, of course. Well, excuse me, the final lap now, as Yasko and Daniel have their race over the line. Yasko, 1.3 seconds the gap to Daniel, but Daniel with 8 seconds in penalties. What position changes we've seen on this grid so far in this race.
Red Goran has the last chance on this lap to do that move on Cactus, both without penalties, so we'll see who will be ahead of the other. Red Goran has been there, I think, since he pitted for those new intermediate set, and well, he's been always on that range of 0.4 or even 0.2 sometimes, and well, on that 1 second range, let's say. And right now, Grenade Goran, I think they're on the same ERS, but look, he's pushing really hard.
Yeah, Cactus might be in big trouble here. My big question is whether or not this move is going to happen before Ascari or if it's going to happen into Parabolica. And I think that it needs to happen out of Ascari. But we'll just see what Grenade's able to do as he carries speed and tries to hunt down Cactus through this second Lesmo.
Oh, and Duncan is just behind, and he has a lot of ERS. We'll see if he can pick up here 2 places. But he's really close, he's wasting that energy, but I don't think Grenade Goran will try it right now.
Well, Duncan, you very late on the brakes into Ascari here in comparison to Grenade, and there goes Yasko. The Red Bull has collected the race win here in Monza. Daniel will take second position. Rutanius now the Dutch driver. Well, he didn't qualify in the top 3, but he's gotten it onto the podium once again. And he'll be thrilled about it, I imagine, after a very up and down dynamic race. We're going to flip back to Cactus now, who has Grenade on the rear of him. Cactus will finish 4th position. Grenade in 5th. Dunk on you 6th. Moen in the Racing Point coming across 8th position for him. Damon now will come across in 9th position, collecting some points for the McLarens as Vincent will jump him. Excuse me, Damon will not collect points for McLaren. Vincent and Beccario have both jumped the McLaren of Damon Plays, as has Maka. So Damon not having the best run here as far as penalties are concerned. Unicorn now across the line in 13th position, with back row jumping him on a penalty as well. But everybody now coming through to the line. Dirk Chocolate, the only driver to get lapped in this campaign, I think, as a result of the last pit stop for the wet compound tires. But what a race that was. And of course, we're going to have interviews in just a few seconds. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The finale, or the finish, of the Tier 3 MRL.
Another impressive drive from Zasco. Another impressive drive from Zasco on the rain. Not the first time, no penalties for him. Daniel Manov had 8 seconds, I think 5 from speeding and 3 for for corner cutting, as Linus crosses line right now on P19, I would say, P18. Well, that was very intense on the first part of this race. Cactus gets his driver of the day, putting himself up into B4. Very good job, and I think Toto Wolff will not be smashing the desk that much.
No, perhaps not, Alex. Perhaps not. But yeah, it was a thrilling race, and I'm very much looking forward to how the rest of the races are going to go this week. We have the Americas later, Tier 2 tomorrow, Tier 1 on Thursday. We still have APAC, Formula 2 later in the week. It's going to be a great week of racing here around the Temple of Speed. And once again, here we have it. Yasko, who started this race in second position, collecting that race win from the pole sitter who finished behind him, Mr. Daniel Monaf, in the Alfa Romeo. And it was Rutanius, the championship leader, started this race in 8th position. He wasn't really, the most confident that I've seen Rutanius, of course, over the past 14 rounds. He came into this race, 8th position. He got it on the podium, 3rd for him, so he'll be absolutely thrilled. Cactus, what a fantastic drive for him. He's had a very up and down season, 13th to 4th for him, representing Spain this week, which I think you'll love to see, Alex. And Grenade, the Swedish driver.
Good luck for him.
Good luck for him, yeah. Grenade, 5th position from 3rd. Dunk on you, 5th to 6th. We had Lavelle, 9th to 7th. Nice drive from him. Moen, 16th to 8th. Solid performance for him in the Racing Point. The double points finish for the Racing Points today, and Moen will be thrilled about it. Vincent, 12th to 9th. Becario started this race in 4th position, but he did not have the best day even remotely. Maka started in 15th, finished 11th. Damon, 6th to 12th. Backrow finishing in 13th. Unicorn here as well, 14th. Polypunk, 16th. Arrow in 16th. Polypunk, 15th, excuse me. We had Alex Budd in 17th. Linus in 18th. Dirk in 19th position. And Squid rounding out the 20 drivers that took part in this one, with he unfortunately retired due to a technical issue in his brake. Came across in the chat to say. There you have it. We're going to get interviews dialed in just a few moments' time. Okay.
It was very intense. Yeah. The rain really sparked everything, and well, we have here Rutanius.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the commentary booth once again, and no stranger to it, our championship leader for Tier 3, the Dutchman himself, the Racing Point driver, Rutanius. What a drive. Let's hear your thoughts on it. How was that?
Wow, that was such a tough race and a lot of fun. I had a lightning start at the first race, but unfortunately it was such a restart. Rules are rules, and I just said to myself and the team, I'm just going to do it again. And I got a lightning start. Sadly, I didn't end up in front of Adam and Yasko, but I got behind them. Adam had a great battle, which is what we've been doing all season together. And at the end, it was very tight on who was getting P2 due to Adam's 8-second time penalty. And I was right behind him, and that was very tight. I would just like to thank so much, a great thank you to Neon. He's been helping me for the past races so unbelievably much. Pushing me to the limits, giving me information. It's just been a crazy help. Also, Larsen, B-Man, Mizumuno, Chris, Aston, Lepson, Aaron, my dad, Marijn, J Games, thank you so much for watching and supporting me always in the chat. You guys are always in the chat, helping me out. Thank you so much.
Well, it was a great race here in Italy, and it really does set you up for, a return to form now. Coming up is a very difficult circuit. Singapore next week. How you looking?
Singapore, it's next to Monaco. It's one of my favorite tracks, and we know how Monaco went, so I hope I can pull off the same trick there. All I'm hoping for is a dry race, finally.
Yeah, we've had a lot of wet running after a dry spell at the beginning of the season. It's definitely thrown a monkey wrench in it for a few drivers, yourself included. We've seen so much rain lately, but of course we'll have to see what happens in Singapore. I think it's likely it can rain there as well. We'll see. But congratulations, Rutanius, on the third place finish today.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was Rutanius, ladies and gentlemen, the Dutchman. Now joining us, of course, well, we have Daniel Monaf here with us, finishing second position. You had pole when you started this race, but you still finished on the podium. How are you feeling, and how was your race today, Daniel?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good after the P2. I got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and then Rutanius is going to be pretty much really close to me. So that last stint, I really had to push straight on flat out, and that's what I did.
Well, it was a very good race. I don't think anybody was really expecting a full wet qualifying, followed by an intermediate race. No one got any dry running. Now, with so much wet running having come in Tier 2 recently, we just spoke to Rutanius about it. Singapore, is this a good track for you, bad track for you, and where would you stand if we saw rain there?
Oh, could you repeat that again? My headset kind of yeeted itself off.
So for Singapore, how are you looking for that circuit, and would you be okay if it rained again? Because we've been seeing a lot of rain, and I've known it to rain in Singapore.
I mean, I'm always open for the rain, to be honest. And my driving style is just, I enjoy the rain quite a lot and I find good pace in it. But I think it would be good, especially for Singapore, like a street circuit, to have dry, because I think it would just make a lot of fun for the drivers and the viewers as well.
Okay, well, it's a very tough circuit. Does it give you any, are you nervous for it? Are you strong looking into Singapore overall as a circuit, despite, rain or dry?
I mean, personally, I quite like street circuits, so whether I'm quick or slow, I'm just genuinely looking forward to Singapore in a whole.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you there, Adam, and congratulations on a second place finish today in Italy.
Thank you very much, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Adam, and I do not believe we are going to be having Yasko, our race winner, available for interview today, unfortunately, but a fantastic race from him, and a big congratulations from Alex Bitto and I for a great win in Italy. With that being said, that is going to wrap up the Tier 3 broadcast for this evening, and of course, you're from Canada. My name is Stryfium, and joining me, well, Alex from Spain. And I really enjoyed this race. If you guys are looking for highlights, the replays, or any of that great content, you can find it on any of our socials. We have photos, clips, crashes, overtakes, of course, guides as well on our YouTube channel. We have the Instagram, and we have a ton of social media for you guys to stay connected and stay in all the action for the Misfits Racing League and the Misfits community. So be sure to jump into that Discord. We have a fantastic new event, the Misfits Grand Championship. Visit our website, misfitsrl.com, or type !event in the chat for more info on that. We have a registration window now open for the next 2 or so weeks, and we'll be starting the racing action on the latter end of May. And there's prizes and giveaways happening through that event as well. Now, of course, we're going to be just getting set up for a raid for Mr. Dirk Chocolate, a great member of the stream community, and of course the outro. But before we go, Mr. Bitto, any last remarks for our great viewers?
Tier 3 never disappoints, and I think America's won to will be a very intense race for Monza, and just starting this week like this, and we will see how the action wraps up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the action. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 2 a.m. for those of you British summer, and of course that is 3 a.m. for those of you in Central Europe. And we'll see you for America's, if not Tier 2, tomorrow.